Welcome to Screen In. Probably not coming to America. Alright, we're gonna head over to the couch. The Boondocks are coming back in April. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was awesome. Moving on to the comic book front. Ben Affleck as Batman. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Jesse Eisenberg got another one. Kevin Hart as Deathstroke. I mean, come on, it'll be ironic. Why? Stop showing bad video game movies. This looks awful. It's worthless. I can't. Who the fuck asked for a Sly Cooper movie? Well, that was fun while it lasted. Welcome, Slenderholics, to another episode of Screened In. The 2017 movie season is upon us, and the first major movie to break out is Logan. Now, Logan stars Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for like the 9th or 10th time, set in the distant future where Wolverine has to deal with, among other things, old age. We've had, I don't know, 6 or 7 X-Men movies, and most of them have starred Wolverine or have guest starred Wolverine. He's been playing this role for almost 18 or 19 years now. So you're probably wondering what makes this different from any other movie. Well, we're going to get into that pretty soon, but before I get into my in-depth review, we're going to go to the concession stand. I'm feeling a little thirsty. And we're back. That was a tasty beverage. Alright, let's get into Logan. Off the top, it was very good. I know, surprising. Like I said before, these X-Men movies have been running for about 17 or 18 years now, and some of them have been decent, some of them not so good, and some of them were downright horrible. The Wolverine movies stand out in particular because they started out as trash, decent, and now with Logan, this is excellent. I dare say Logan transcends all the other X-Men movies by a huge margin. And it also, how can I say this? Logan is a testament of what you can do with the superhero genre when you take it in new directions. It's also a testament of the evolution of the superhero genre on film in general. As we get a lot of these movies, it's expected that they have to try to switch things up, make things different. And Marvel Studios in particular has led the way in this. Logan delivers what DC movies have been trying to do since The Dark Knight, and that is a grim and gritty movie with substance. I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't going to agree with. Logan was better than Deadpool. And by that I mean it took its R rating and it pushed it to the boundaries that it needed to go to without being gratuitous and unnecessary. It used its R rating for a purpose. That's not to say Deadpool didn't do that, but Logan did it in such a way that it was natural that this movie had to be rated R. I don't know if I can completely say that about Deadpool. Deadpool was a good movie. Deadpool took full advantage of its R rating, but Logan took it and ran with it. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of Logan. First of all, the acting was superb. we've been watching Hugh Jackman play Wolverine all these years, and for the most part, I'd say he's done a very good job. But being Old Man Logan, this was Hugh Jackman's opus. He will probably make nothing else as better than this. And that's a good thing because for a character that he's worked with for almost 20 years, for a character that he was so invested in, that he actually cared about, you could tell there was passion behind his acting. The same thing goes for Patrick Stewart. I don't think we will ever get a good camaraderie amongst superhero characters in superhero movies as we got with Professor Xavier and Wolverine pretty much throughout all these movies, but specifically capped off with Logan. And I say that hoping one day they do Batman and Superman right. And I also say that knowing what Marvel Studios did with the camaraderie of Captain America and Iron Man. X-23 was also executed perfectly. The young girl Daphne King, she really put her all into this role. She has the makings of a future action star with her martial arts abilities and the way she pulled off the role. You could tell she's one of those child actors that really knows how to act as opposed to child actors that are just in movies and they don't really act really well, but the movie requires them to have a child actor. I'm looking at you, Iron Man 3. Also, got to give a shout out to Boyd Holbrook. I've been watching this dude since Narcos, and in Narcos, he was a pretty decent character, but in Logan, he was a great villain. I really like the way they did Donald Pierce, which is the character he plays, and the Reavers. They pulled them off perfectly without being too hokey. There's not much motivation with his character, but it's not necessary. He's a freight train just going through this movie, just trying to go after X-23, trying to go after Logan. He's almost unstoppable until the very end. James Mangold did a terrific job directing this movie. I liked The Wolverine, the movie before this one. James Mangold directed that one, but these two movies are completely night and day. You wouldn't think the same director directed both of these movies. And it's a testament to what can happen when Fox gets out of the way of the creators. We saw that in Deadpool and we see it here. If this is the future of the X-Men movies over at Fox, I hope it keeps going this well. Now, I know there's a Gambit movie that they keep talking about. I don't know how people feel about this Gambit movie. Personally, I can take it or leave it. But if the Gambit movie has this level of dedication and this level of freedom as Deadpool and Logan, then I'm all for it. Okay, I'm gonna get into some nitpicks. So I mentioned Donald Pierce and the Reavers. I did like them, but if you're doing the Reavers, I want to see the dude that was half a man, half a tank. Where was he? You could have done it. It wouldn't have been too hokey. It would have been amusing, but we didn't get that dude. I'm upset. Where was he? So, it's alluded to that Xavier killed the X-Men. And that's why the X-Men aren't around in this future. I was really hoping we would get a flashback and see that. There were so many times that they could have just cut away to a flashback, especially several times where you see Wolverine is asleep and you see he's having nightmares. It would have been interesting to see that nightmare. And coupled with the fact that they show that in this future, the X-Men has apparently reached a legendary status where they made comic books about them. You could have went all out. You could have done the outfits from the cartoons and the comic books, Even if you thought it would have looked hokey, you could have filmed the flashback in black and white and it still would have been awesome. By now, if you're watching this review, you know that I'm spoiling the hell out of this movie. Outside of the Reavers and Donald Pierce, the main villain is X-24, which is basically a clone, an exact clone of Wolverine, but younger, more ferocious, and in complete feral rage. I say if you're pulling from the comic books as much as you're pulling from, I mean, we got Logan's name being James Howlett, we got X-23. I think instead of another Wolverine having two Hugh Jackmans on the screen, X-24 could have been anyone else. How awesome would it have been if X-24 had been Sabretooth, played by Liev Schreiber, Daken from the comics, Wolverine's son, Cyber from the comics, the one man Wolverine feared, and I'll even go out there and say Omega Red. Hell, X-24 even could have been a grown up Laura, a more advanced clone of Laura. And you could have had the X-24, X-23 dynamic that Supergirl and Power Girl have in DC Comics. That would have been awesome. Alright, Slenderholics, I'm leaving it here. My recommendation, please see this movie. This movie was excellent. If Fox can continue to stay on the train of thought that they started with Deadpool and continued with Logan, these X-Men movies might turn out alright. Alright, everybody. Peace.